Hello, and welcome back to Bard College. We were a little bit delayed thanks to problems with our friendly local VTT provider. But if you're here now, then we're here with you. So thanks for joining us. Goodness. We left with the party descending into the mostly drained green basin in the heart of Menelambia, the Green Peninsula. That was excavated or at least the excavation was started some years ago. Choosing to traverse the worked stone and mined caverns instead of the almost limitless black expanse, hoping to cut off any number of advancing giants that may have proceeded down there. The party, encountered a few things. A magical ward on a table, which exploded when they tried to pass it, and then they were set upon by 3 steel predators who were seemingly roaming the caverns in search of prey. They made their way towards an enclosure that was seemingly protected by a magical barrier, illusory barrier, not physical barrier. And after a couple of hard encounters, have found, at least for now, some sanctuary in the rocks. The entrance was provided to them by their knowledge of their former friend, Gallin, and specifically his parents' and his father's religious persuasion, which seemed to be that of Ogma. As you walk in, being the god of knowledge, Spellix worshipped. It seems as though there were countless scrolls and diaries and journals, maps, plans, drilling equipment, a whole cache of stuff lies before you as the door closes behind you. What do you do?
Open a can of beer, of course, is what we do.
It's the soft stuff today.
Nice. Well, this looks like it could have some good information. Probably take a good look, or you learned people should, and I'm gonna... this door, can we lock it behind us? Because it was a magical lock, all right?
It was magically sealed. As you turn behind you, you see like an old piece of rope on the left-hand side, and a kind of damp, like partially sodden kind of bar of wood that was draped against the door, or against the side of the door on the other side. With a little bit of tinkering, perhaps, you could fashion a basic lock, again, a bar. It doesn't seem secure in and of itself, unless it has been magically resealed.
Yeah, maybe using the same password would reseal it. And the other side of the room, there's stairs going up?
Yeah, it's like what's the word?
Mezzanine?
A mezzanine, yeah. So you can actually see above you like a balcony with one small bed and a hammock. Seemingly the hammock might have been used for relaxation. There is a desk with a stool at the top of the stairs, but it's all quite gnome-sized. So
yeah,
probably fine
perfect
for
size for
Tilly.
Tilly. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go search over there, see if I find anything, and you guys maybe search down here.
Over upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Hey, good start. Good start.
Okay.
That's
I'm going to
that's
leave.
the natural 20 I got from roll 20. They
There you go.
they said they're gonna give me one. Yeah.
They've apologized. Okay, I'm going to park that for a moment and go to the others. So Tilly scampers upstairs and starts having a rummage around the appropriately sized things. What are the rest of you doing?
I'd like to have a look at these papers and things.
Yeah, and Kirsty?
I was gonna ask to look at some maps.
Okay. I would like each of you to make an investigation check. Okay. With a 16, Mia, you see the caverns kind of mapped out to varying like different degrees of accuracy. It's clear there's been some adjustments, some progress, some kind of rock slides, etc. I will say that you can identify some areas and general locations.
Okay.
So, the head mage's office is to the north. I mean, it's not like to the, it's to the north, like on this map. The main sewer outlet, like the reservoir, is to the northwest. And the restricted areas are to the east and northeast.
Ooh. Any information about them?
Not a lot, no. Not with the 16. Red, you were not looking at maps, but you were looking at other information down here?
Yeah, I was trying to find out just if there's any evidence about what's happened to maybe other gnomes and stuff.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be like a personnel log here. What you get clearly, even with a 7, is that this is not an official store. It's not like organized in a administrative way. This is a personal stash. And thus, you don't find a lot of like information on like personnel or like lodgings or anything like that. But you see there is just scroll after scroll after scroll of advanced gnomish equipment. With a 7, it's not like you won't be able to make head nor tail of them, but there's so much of them that they're going to take you a while to go through and even interpret and understand. Even as a researcher, you're used to looking through files of religious texts and kind of decoding passages and edicts and things like that. This is like engineering and architectural plans. I'll say one thing is obvious to even to people at a cursory glance. At least a third of these plans have a stamp on them. They're old, but it's kind of like a watermark. And the stamp is from an organization called the Clock Tower.
No, that's a callback.
Yeah.
You know them gnomes.
Think out of all of us, Mia was really the one with the most kind of memory of what was going on with the clock tower, so I'll point it in her direction once she's finished with what she's doing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm having technical problems again.
What's
My
occurring?
Chrome is, like flashing. Like if you look at the reflection of my face, I don't know if you can see.
No.
It's just like flickering.
I can see it.
Mm.
Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try reload the page.
Yeah, my whole Chrome is doing it though.
Oh no.
Let's just close Chrome down. Sorry.
Okay, you're very quiet for me. I've got you at 200% volume.
Cool. I can do that.
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Just don't breathe.
Just not too close.
It's not looking very good. Still really flickering for me.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Restart.
Don't know. Yeah, restart your whole computer, or maybe it's a Mac issue with this problem. I don't know.
Macs are the worst.
Got an
People
IT
bitch about
specialist
Macs
there.
are the worst. Maybe I'll restart everything and you guys go on without me for a bit.
Yeah.
It's all right. Go for
Okay.
it. That may F up the video a little bit, right?
Yeah, it just moved our faces around a bit.
Whoa.
It just looks a bit
Wanna
We can
novel, let's put it that
pause.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, pause
I'll
the
put it on
video.
pause for 2 seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're back. Technical problems seem to be resolved,
Sorry.
at least temporarily. So, yeah, we were just with Red's investigation. They found that there were some clock tower watermarks. I think Red was going to mention it to Mia.
Oh yeah, the clock tower. That's where your temple used to be, right?
The other way around.
Or your temple was built on the remains of it.
Yeah. Yeah. What?
Not all of
You
these
just found this?
documents, but like a good third of these are signed off by the clock tower. This organization.
Oh. So we had a run-in there with a gnome called Yoston, an artificer. I guess.
Freddie chimes in. Yostin. And he picks up one of the plans, and he sees it's dated 1468 DR.
Year is it now?
Currently, hold on. I just had this last night. Currently, it is 1488. Around 1488, yeah. I think that's right, 1488.
About 20 years ago.
You know this guy, Freddie?
Oh, well, when the Star Seekers and I went to find my father's secret lab workshop, we discovered that he was assisted by Yostin in Yostin's early years. I'm going to have to just... We found some diaries of my father's that were also dated. I'm just going to cross-reference some dates and see if I can put together a timeline. Don't mind me. And he kind of grabs one of the scrolls and gets his own journal out and starts trying to put together a sequence of events, at least in relation to Yostin, his dad, anything that he might be able to uncover that way. But it's going to take him a while too. In fact, I might make Freddie do an investigation check. Why not? Just got to get his character sheet up. Here we are. Okay, Frederick, it's your time to shine. Oh no, that was a save. Not that. There we go. Oh, even better. Freddie gets to work. He puts some eyeglasses on and lights a candle, and just kind of gets to investigating. Naeem pipes up and says, "How's everybody feeling?"
A little bit rough. Not too bad, but I could sit for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, we started this journey at night. Well, just past nightfall, right? Took us a few hours to get down here. My bones are aching. Yeah. Maybe we should try and rest, put together a shift rota.
Seems like if anywhere is safe to rest down here, then this is probably our best bet so far. You think we can seal that illusion back up from this side?
Well, whoever pressed the button initially seemed to make the wall reappear. as long as someone hasn't pressed it since, I assume it'll still be there.
Oh yeah, because you walked through it. Somebody walked through it.
It was just a gap when you walked through. You pressed the button, and behind you, the illusion came up. So you are concealed.
Oh, it did.
currently.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
So as people settle into papers, if you want to continue to investigate, Freddie certainly will use the 2 hours in his long rest to continue to investigate. I assume Tilly will use her natural 20 to use her 2 hours to investigate. I'm going to tell you it's going to take a while. But with that 20, I'm going to give you what you're looking for.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if there's stuff to investigate for 2 hours, then yeah, absolutely. I did want to propose of the casting of the mansion again, for comfort and total safety. We can go back to there. We don't have to sleep here on this stone floor.
I will say that if investigation is the goal, it will take more time than you have to take all of the stuff out of where it is and take it into the mansion.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. If we spend 2 hours, all of us investigating here, and then go just to do the sleep thing in mansion, we don't need shifts in there or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I mean, we can sleep here but what? Why?
I'll take the mansion.
Yeah.
I'll look around at the whetstone. Yeah.
And also be completely safe.
Tisha, what about you?
Well, what is there left to investigate at this point? Maps.
Other than documents, there does seem to be some crates and boxes and barrels around and stowed away in various things. So
she will snoop.
Okay, and then I'd like you to make an investigation check, please.
Okay. Yes, that's great.
God damn it, these barrels and boxes seem to be riveted shut with some kind of mechanical device. Bloody, what are the odds?
Idea anyway.
Is there any way you want to overcome that, or are you just going to give up?
How can I overcome it?
Are the mechanical devices nails?
Arcane nails. Just me, the nat one sealed, like
sealed.
welded.
I can't. I don't really want to throw fire at stuff.
Fireball.
What have I got in my inventory? A dagger? Can I try and... I suppose that's a strength check.
Yeah. Well, no, it'd be an attack roll.
Oh.
Give you advantage.
Okay.
You can go for a crate or a barrel. You choose.
A crate.
Okay. Hits. Roll damage.
4.
4. You chip out a bit of wood. It's going to take you a while to get into a.
Okay.
Like
an ice
crate. Yeah, literally.
Then we'll do that.
Okay, that's fine. You're going to spend your 2 hours getting into.
I will get through
one of the crates.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You'll find some moldy bread or something.
Some good strength, muscle building stuff. It's all about training.
All right. So, Red, are you continuing to take time to investigate some of these things? That the 2 hours.
Maybe I can assist Freddie. Just for more than anything else, I'm kind of interested, and I also kind of a little bit invested in, he's reading a bit more into his father, and I was kind of like the most recent person to have actually interacted with him, so I kind of want to hear a bit more of his story and what he thinks about the timeline and stuff.
Okay, I want you just to make a straight charisma check.
Okay. Ooh, not very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Freddy shoos you away, and you can tell that it's not because he doesn't want to have this conversation with you, but he's doing a lot of mental maths and mental gymnastics, and doesn't want to be disturbed. He did look interested in some of the plans you were looking at, and so encourages you to see what you can do.
Yeah.
See what you can find out. Okay, cool. I'm going to go to Lucas now. He's been patient. Lucas goes upstairs, and with a natural 20 investigation, you see a few things. You see a small cot bed, which looks like it would be suitable for an adult gnome. Above which seems to be a lightly carved scroll symbol of Ogma.
Mm-hmm.
The place looks quite tidy. It seems as though if this was Spellix's abode, he was very organized. And you kind of just run your fingertips along the table, and you feel like a change in the elevation of the wood. It just kind of dips in one corner, and you're like, huh. And you look to the back leg of the desk, and it seems as though one of the legs is kind of loose. What do you do?
Well, I'll take a look at it to see if it's maybe hollowed out, holding something inside.
In order to see if it's hollowed out, you have to lift the desk, and it seems as though the leg then begins to wobble, and as you pull the leg, a significant number of rolled up pieces of paper fall out. It has been stuffing them in his desk for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of years worth of notes, you would say. Tens, if not maybe 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You pull the desk back, and it's clear that some were like stuffed behind it as well once the desk had been kind of filled up. So there's basically this whole cache of notations, which now kind of pile out from the underneath the desk to the edge of the bed, which is the only place now there is to sit without standing on all of these notes.
Nice. I'll check if there's nothing dangerous under the cover, like somebody left a knife there that I would sit on. And
as you pull back the cover, there, it just seems like a bare sheet, but there is a pillow, and under the pillow, with an natural 20, you just see a glint of something.
it's a gun in it. I'll take a look. Oh, what's underneath?
Under the pillow, you see an identical version of Galen's amulet from the chained library.
Ooh. Ah, shit. I'll pick it up very gently. And
you now know that the chained library is a denomination of religious practitioners devoted to Ogma.
Right. I'll put the amulet aside for a second. I'll bring it down to Mir in a moment. But I'll just shout down. I got some reading to do here, and I'll see if I can skim the stuff, or maybe just briefly organize it more or less, if it's possible, and see if I can read some of the earliest, some of the latest, maybe. See if I can piece together. Every time it will go into any sort of arcane, magical explanation of stuff that goes over my head, I'll skip whole parts of it to, because I don't understand it anyway. But I'll put them aside for.
Well, I'll
maybe
tell you what.
something like that.
You may expect to find these technical elaborations, the mind of a tinkerer, an artificer, an engineer.
Yeah.
But actually, every time you open one, it just seems like deeply personal.
It's like mundane. Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, that definitely surprises me. I guess that was his therapy diary. I'll see if I can find. First of all, in a limited time that I have, I'll see if I can find the newest looking pages, and see if I can read them first.
Okay. You find the piece of paper that must have been stuffed in last.
Yeah.
And indeed, it is a crumpled mess at the bottom of an otherwise kind of dutifully organized, well, not organized, but kind of cared for wraps of paper. It says 1487. If you're reading this, get out. It's too late. What have we done?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay, well, I was kind of expecting something like this. Okay, let's see if I can find more pages close to that time frame, and maybe just sort of try to read it backwards
Okay, we're going to go backwards.
because it's fun this way.
Sure. I think I wrote them forwards like a bit of a story, but going backwards might work. Let's see. You might get the big reveal and then it'll get less exciting as it goes on. But
Fair enough.
There's not many scraps in 1487 that you can find. You find a 1486 one.
Mm-hmm.
It just merely says another mage has volunteered their services to head up the Vade Mecum and finish the project once and for all. This is 1487. You realise 1486. This is recent. This is a year, within the past 18 months. Both of these.
Mm-hmm.
You go back further. Between 1473 and 1485, there's not a lot of stuff. Either you think Spellix, if it was Spellix, didn't spend a lot of time here in those years, but it's nearly a decade worth of time. It says a new head magi, Lady Laren Hall, has taken control of the operation on a temporary basis. But her loyalty seems to be to Hysis and not the elves themselves.
Did we hear this name before? Laren Hall.
What year was the Laren Hall one from, please?
I would say 1484.
Okay.
About 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So she took over, but she is. So sorry, what did it say? She is loyal to.
She's loyal to Hysis,
Right.
and you know that from the newspaper article. Hysis has kind of been replaced or stepped down as the head of the Vade Mecum quite recently.
Yeah. Okay. And we did. We
I
don't
think
know
maybe
who
going
replaced
backwards, this might be create loads of questions, but
Fine. You know what? Tilly's like super lost in this, and she like, nah, that's not gonna work, and then flips the pages and starts from the beginning.
okay. Cool.
Are they all the same handwriting?
Yes.
Okay.
So what you just got were like scraps at the end when either he was too busy, too scared, or not here to write.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to the earlier ones, and they are a lot more kind of open and optimistic and kind of insight. Give you a bit of more insight. So I'll paste some of them. First, the earliest one you can find is this one. I'll read it to you, but I'll paste it in the chat for now. It's the month of Myrtle the 4th in 1464 DR. Long time ago. Blessed are my wife and I to have heard the voice of reason, though I must admit the wisdom embedded in the instructions of the Grand Patriarch are shrouded by this darkness and dust. The elves have been hospitable at least, and if we can assist them with their great catharsis, we are more than happy to oblige. It should us beat paying exorbitant taxes to the monarchy back in Glimmerstone. We'll be set for life. Though I'd expect a lot more publicity surrounding an undertaking of such considerable size. The Rome Weavers, Trudusts, and Urbans' names deserve more respect. Back to digging for now.
That's cool. All right, let's keep. So Urbans is the last name of Jostin then.
Yes.
True Dust. Not heard that.
Not a name you recognise.
Gotta be some other gnomish family there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not that Tilly would necessarily connect the dots, but this would have been. This is 24 years ago, and Galen was in his early 20s, so it's either he's not born yet or he's a baby.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll keep reading.
Apologies, guys. This is lore dump time.
Great.
Some people
Love it.
like that. Some people, I'm not sure. But the next one you find is from the same year. And it is the month of Nightall, 1464 DR. We've made considerable progress thanks to our mirror-light drilling equipment. Thanks to that human mage, we've even been able to recombinate the vibration frequencies to extend the arcane output of each crystal. Tokka's Twinflow said they used to do experimental shit like this all the time in the Queensferry Navy. But the scale of this operation is massive. We'll be down here for a long time. I hope Nibnall knows how much I love her.
Nibnall.
I think I thought as a player that this excavation thing is last few years, and this clearly started long before that.
Long time.
Yeah. Which now that Tilly thinks about it, it makes sense. It's the whole thing's massive. They drained the entire lake, and then they built everything that we've seen here so far. So
decades of work.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this is fascinating. I'm reading more.
Okay. The next one you find is from Marpanoth in 1465, October time. Praise be to the voice of reason. Ogma is seen to reward our dedication with a boy. Nibnall is weak, but the young one gets stronger with every breath. Ms. Holowarna has even afforded us some time in the sun. The hospitality of the elves continues to impress. Given the ambitious timetable this has us all working to, given the ambitious timetable they have us all working to, I finally got to see the inside of the Vardair Meccan personally. It's a city-sized library. I know now that I'm walking the right path.
No. It's not sounding good, guys.
What do you mean?
She's weak, but the young one gets stronger.
Yeah, that's Galen she's talking about, yeah.
But the wife.
But the wife. Yeah.
Are we enjoying story time, guys?
We really are.
I am.
Hold on to your butts.
There's 20 more of these.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Not bad.
And they get shorter. Next one you find is from early in the next year, a few months later. Our workforce continues to grow. The mage seems to conjure an extra pair of hands just when you need them. I swear, Nibnal seems a lot better. I think the birth was quite traumatic, but it's like she doesn't even remember it. She can be quite distant these days. I see a longing in her eyes, but she can be so cold to me. Still, being given the cold shoulder and having a few more labourers down here has allowed me to assist the mage in some of his work. I've never seen someone manipulate the weave in the way he does. It's like he's looking at it from a different perspective. We're about to start work on an Escalapiator, shield technology, which will really increase the safety down here. Praise be to the voice of reason.
So Tilly's thinking like, who is this mage?
Mhm.
Is that? I don't know.
John thinks he knows.
Would that? I mean, John, are you thinking Freddy's dad? But that doesn't make
That's who
sense.
jumps to mind immediately. I don't feel like I know it, but that's who I think.
Yeah, because he's human, definitely, and powerful mage, and then obviously Yosten is involved in this, but okay, so this would be
But Yostin was a gnome.
yeah, exactly. Yosten's a part of this
Reginald.
his family is a part of this project, right? The Urbans, right? So he might have gone and said, and like this might have been some of the things they've been working on early, before Reginald.
Yeah, Reginald is his name.
Yeah, decided that this is some shady shit, and maybe, and then
He's enshrouded in mystery, to say the least. You know, over these past years.
Well, yeah, and then he absconded to another plane for, Okay, well, fine. We can talk about it when we read all
And
of
to
it.
the wife.
Eh?
Suspicious.
What's happened to the wife?
Yeah.
She doesn't remember the birth. She's got a
Yeah.
longing, and she hates him.
Well, yeah. It could be some weird magic there. I think it might be, or it could be just the thing that like.
Could just be postnatal depression.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, or.
Yeah.
Sure. So D&D.
My wife doesn't remember any of the pain or whatever she said. It goes away.
You don't remember the pain, but you remember the birth, like the.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't know.
The
What do
actual
I know?
event. No. I think you're right on it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Tilly would pick up on that for sure. Thanks. Okay, we can talk about that later. But I'm interested what's gonna happen. She's gonna
kill him.
But this might not even be the birth of Galen, though, right? This would be the. Oh no, because his brother is the adopted brother. Yeah. So it is Galen, of course,
Yeah. But it's also something I can't wait to see if there's anything in there why they left him in the library. What the hell?
Yeah.
Shall we continue?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Storytelling.
Tarsak, a few months later.
Whoa.
It's fucking Vashan, of course it is.
Vashan continues to be impressed with my hard work and has, against all better judgment, employed an eye tyrant to assist with the drilling. I'm told this will allow me to leave drilling detail behind permanently. However, he demands my absolute dedication. And seeing young Galen has become increasingly difficult to juggle when however, he demands my absolute dedication, and seeing to young Galen has become increasingly difficult to juggle when Nibnal just seems less and less interested. It's like she doesn't know him. He craves her warmth, and she freezes. I'm glad that Ms. Hololana has visited so regularly to assist her, so I can focus on my projects. Nethermancy surely isn't a school of magic I'm familiar with, but the things Mr. Zaldeskar has learned at the Grand Library of Al-Harak, truly inspirational.
Hmm.
I wonder if I'll be able to make use of what I learned to give my wife and son the life that they deserve once this is all over.
Zaldeskar.
What the fuck?
We know that name?
The implication is that's Vashan's surname.
Hmm.
Sure.
And Giselle's background is in this.
Mm.
Yeah, Sildeskar Spire. He was the other Nevermancer that they had like a competition. Vashan and this other guy. Was that?
No,
No, Vashan. When the wish was made and everything went to put, you were transported to an alternate version of Irongard, where Vashan's tower was. Do you remember?
Yes.
Hmm.
And Vashan assisted you and empowered you to return to your normal plane and defeat Panaku.
Hmm.
Yes, and then we killed his killed his clone or something from another dimension, and he was very unhappy with it.
Yes. It seemed as though he had presided over the requisition of some vessels, and Smoke and Mia discovered their own vessels lying in coffin-like structures and decided, no thanks, and
that
destroyed
was
them.
freaky.
Yeah,
that was
I
too
remember
freaky to
that.
handle. So
Yeah.
That was so fucked.
So you never saw Vashan again after that. But however, this far predates that interaction.
yeah,
This diary entry is way before you guys met Vashan.
like 20 years before, right?
Exactly.
Ish.
Do you want to keep going?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Late in 1466. What manner of dream was this? We both felt it. A pull from beyond the veil of sleep towards a winding spire of ghouls. A shared hallucination? Magic? I can't begin to comprehend what we saw, but it was as if the gods had judged our son. He was a young adult, filled with bitterness and scorn, losing the trust of those he loved whilst bringing a terrible plague upon the world. I spoke with Vashan, needing nothing more than the gentle reassurance of a mentor, but he attended to my dream as if it were a deposition. He wanted to know every detail. Is something happening to my boy? Nibnor has not stopped crying. Ogma, show us the way.
What the fuck? So everything that happened with Galen 20 something years from this moment, they saw when he was just a baby. That's so fucked.
So, oh my god, yeah. So when we
Parents
were there,
in court.
Oh my god.
yeah, they were being pulled from this time to their son in the future being reckoned by the gods with the Starseekers. That's weird. It's getting weird.
Why would you give up your son?
Why the
Yeah.
fuck would they do this? Yeah.
So maybe
Unless
Nibnor
he
was
knew.
like dreaming from that stuff, weird stuff from the beginning, and she was like freaking out. Maybe.
Mm.
Hmm.
Nice. Oh crap! If Galen survived, that would have been such a cool reveal. I mean, it still is, but like, what a backstory. All right. She's gonna keep reading. She doesn't understand any of what's just been mentioned in this note. Tilly,
No.
that's just.
It's just an entertaining
Just
story
a-
for Tilly right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Later that same month, only a few weeks later at the most, I've lost everything. Vashan is leaving, and I'm being returned to mining duty. Bastard elves. You'd think if I was no longer needed, they'd let us go. or at least they give me more time to attend to Gallin. But Hysis is taking him away now too. Nibnor barely put up a fight. Curse be upon her. She was never a good mother.
Rough. Oh shit.
Next one.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to the end now. Springtime, I think, the following year, we have a new mage in charge. Another human from the other side of Cerulea with flame red hair. I wasn't keen at first, but it turns out he's also estranged from his son. He wants to go back to him, but a father must always work to give their son a future, even when it means giving up their own.
Reginald?
Does Freddy? She looks down from reading. She looks down the mezzanine on all the other people just for a second to see Freddy's red hair, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there another one, or is that?
Yeah, they get shorter and shorter now. In fact, no, they are. The rest of it is just scraps of information. So the next thing you find is a warrant for Reginald Rosemantle's arrest, issued in 1472, when he is discovered to be working for the Cerulean Central Commission and has been spying on the Elf Project for about 6 years.
Okay, well that checks with what Red told her.
Yeah, he is extradited to Crystal Spear. You see another note in 1472. In 1473 is when Lady Lauren Hall turns up and takes over the operation, the third mage to oversee this huge project. But as Hysis discloses her plans to retire in 1485, Lady Lauren Hall withdraws and returns to Crystal Spear. However, within the past 12 months, 1486 also, another mage has volunteered to offer their services and finish the project once and for all. The next entry is the one you found first, Lucas. Less than 12 months later. If you're reading this, get out. It's too late. What have we done?
Yeah. So is this the newest mage that said he's gonna help out?
Finish the project.
Finish the project. That they're talking about Zetsu? No. Maybe? There's no information about it.
There's no information about that.
Well,
Who did you
shit.
think it was, Kirsty? I saw your cogs turning.
Mage.
Hmm.
I'm just worried the answer is Lone Spell.
Oh, fuck.
But at the minute, I'm just worried the answer to every question is Lone
Yes,
Spell.
Lone
Oh,
Spell. Who you
If
gonna
it is, then
marry?
he took
Lone
you for a
Spell.
fucking ride when he was talking about all that allegiance and the truth and all that stuff.
Seems like plausible that he could take over, help it happen, and in exchange, something could happen to get his daughter back. Or is that
Married
stupid?
Zetsu.
No, I think that sounds that sounds plausible. I mean, Tisha had that vision, and huh? Oh crap!
We still don't. What at this point? I maybe just need some reminding as a player. Like, where are we up to with? Like, what are they actually doing here? Like,
I don't think we found
because
anything
this,
about
like Dan
that.
said,
Yeah.
this is very much. This isn't the technical notes. This is more like his journal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
in all of this, we don't
whatever
really.
it is bad shit, and we should run away. It's too late.
So
But we know. So we
this
know
is
it was
go on.
Vasham was involved. I'm just let me get wrap my head around like an order of who was in charge. So who was the first one that got involved with heading up the project? The mage was Vashan, we think.
correct.
Yeah.
So it was Vashan first.
And he brought in, or at the same time, the families of gnomes were brought in to do the excavation.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever
Then
the plan is to do with this.
He freaks out about Gallin. This weird thing happens.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you guys seen this or missed this, but the fucking Vashan brought in a fucking beholder to do drilling. What the fuck?
Wait, how did I miss that? Wait.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Yeah. Because he's mentioned there
An eye
the
tyrant.
fucking eye tyrant. That's beholder.
They have disintegration rays, don't they?
Yeah. So he basically said, "Here's a drill machine. So you don't spell. You don't have to do that. You go and help me, whatever." So he started working closely with Vashan.
Demanding his absolute dedication, but we don't know to what.
There's magical elements that are involved in something, but they needed they needed to keep drilling. They needed to get to something, and then there was a magical element that obviously involved nethermancy, and somebody else was helping them. This Zeldeskar.
No,
That's Vashan.
Vashan Zaldeskar is Vashan.
Okay, fair enough.
And then suddenly they have
makes sense.
the new mage in charge, which is Reginald. But then they find out he's
no.
left it.
So first it was the fucking vision that happened. Yeah, what fucked everything up for them. They were more or less like Spellix was getting better, getting closer. Showing the dedication. They were making progress. Nibnal was weird, but whatever. And then that vision came and that fucked it up for them. Because obviously they screwed with their heads. And then Vashan found out about this vision. Vashan learned about...
Yeah, he must have kind of
from
known
the vision,
more than it just being like a weird... Because anyone else would hear it and be like, whoa, what a freaky dream. Maybe that's like a weird omen or whatever. But Vashan wanted to know every detail. And then 2 weeks later, he acted on it and he got Gallin and he left.
So the biggest thing about that vision that I can think of that would affect Vashan would be learning of Panaku 20 years before he was released into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he learned that information, And that fucking messed everything up for him because
So you know what that kind of means? Like, I bet that if they were, if he was given every detail of the dream, then he was given the detail of like smoke and mirror, and then so when we met him, he was like expecting us 20 years earlier.
motherfucker.
Oh,
You can both have a point of inspiration.
Oh
There you go.
God. Feel sick. I don't know if I want it. No, I was joking.
Motherfucker.
But then Reginald
So,
knows
Yeah.
things.
So Vishan disappeared.
Yeah, he fucked off. Maybe had some plans to do with Panako, or just didn't want to be here when Panako takes over the world. Because I guess he didn't know what happens next, right? He knew this eldritch evil was happening, but he didn't know that we're gonna defeat it because that happened after, right? So that's why he thought like, oh, this is gonna fuck everything up. But if I, meet these people, I'll help them. You know what I mean? And that's what he did. 20 years later. Okay, so he's out of the picture. Took his beholder with him probably, and so they stopped having the drill machine. So they had to, whoever was in charge. And none of this mentions who from the elf side is in charge of this. There's not a fucking word about this, and it pisses me off.
No, it only
Bastard.
mentions their
Bastard
kind of
elves.
like stand-in project management leader.
Yeah, it
without
says
mentioning
bastard
like,
elves.
because they didn't know, like the gnomes, they would never have. He wouldn't have been able to figure that out.
So
again.
so basically they probably blamed him, Spellix, for Vashan dropping the project. It's like, what the fuck did you do to this project manager? He just fucking left. So they
Yeah.
so they told him to go to mining, and then they took Galen. I don't know, maybe at that point to control him, or who knows.
Yeah, to take control of like the omen, basically.
Yeah, and went
make sure
on
they were
to find someone else to run the magical side of this. And this is when they found Reginald.
Who was found out after a few years to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He worked for about 6 years for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then-
So
His allegiance to the CCC was discovered.
Yeah, so what must have happened is Jostin told him about his family's project. Maybe he was involved in it some way, or it was his family. It was his
There's a
family.
connection there.
Yeah, he probably told him about that, and Reginald spoke to the other CCC commanders and said like, we should probably fucking keep tabs on this. So I'm going to pretend that I know, and probably gleaned all the information from Jostin that he could. I'm going to pretend to know Nevermancy. Maybe he does. I don't know. It seems to be a rare thing, but maybe he pretended or something, and he engraced himself in it. He obviously didn't progress them because they eventually found out that they
So
and then-
the notes about this warrant for Reginald was before they had essentially like presumably a third person, which is when then all of a sudden Spellix said, what the fuck have we done? Let's get out of here.
But you've got Reginald, and then he was arrested, then Hysis and Lady Larenhall, and then Lone Spell, if that's who it is.
And Lady Larenhall, there is a mention of her once.
Yeah, well, she took the baby, didn't she?
No, Hysis Hololana, I think.
Hysis Hololana took Galen.
Hysis has taken him away.
Yeah, who's the lead? Yeah, but the Lady Larenhall was once mentioned with Samaris. Samaris was trapped in a book, And Lady Larenhall was the one who extracted him. Whatever that tells us, anyway.
Just another thing you know about Lady Larenhall?
Just something positive, maybe she's done. But Samaris might have more information on her if we don't know. So, but anyway, something happened, and she got. Does it mention why she stopped being the PM, the magic MPM, magic project manager?
It did not.
Okay, so maybe just couldn't make progress, or
maybe being reduced to a minor, Spellix was no longer kind of informed as to the many of the whys and wherefores of things happening.
But then eventually he mentions yet another.
Very recently.
Very recently, and after probably finding out who fucking Lone Speller is, he was like, "What the fuck did we do?" Maybe,
right?
or I'm finding something else about it.
Yeah, you seem to have picked up the thread. It's a succession of mages and problems. But yeah.
But we still don't know the most crucial thing. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
Because we need to know to stop it.
Well, spending some time, Freddie puts together the timeline and basically confirms a few things. Number one, this project with at least the urban family was going on prior to or about the same time where Jostin was working with Reginald, and thus that might have been the way in for Reginald to oversee this project. Crucially for Freddie, this is where Reginald was in his formative years.
Wow, yeah.
Working for the CCC and underground in Menelambir.
This is literally an
undercover.
explanation for his estranged father. Like, this is what he's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
This is what... So, Freddie's main takeaway from this, and he would disclose this to Tisha first, I think. So we'll roleplay that if you don't mind, Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie, like, shuts a book and, like, comes over to you, and you can see he's trying to be strong, but he's like holding back some tears and kind of swallows quite hard.
Tisha digs the dagger into the box and then sees it and goes, "You okay?"
It's just weird. Like, we've spoken a lot of times, both before and after your kind of return, about fate and whether people are like destined to do things.
Yeah.
Well, I think I was destined to come here. I've just found out basically where my dad was for most of my childhood. And it was here.
You mean like fate wanted you to know the answers? Or do you think...
Well, these are the answers that I've been looking for, and what are the odds? We came here following a giant, and it's led me to the answers to questions I've been searching for my whole life.
How do you feel?
I just don't understand what was so important that, I mean, clearly he was working under kind of false pretenses. It was some kind of clandestine operation, but it must have been, it's so important.
Does that give you a sense of pride, understanding? Where are you at in knowing your father a bit more now?
I think while he was here, I would have been too young to understand. I now know what it's like to hold a position of responsibility and have so many people rely upon you. And running an operation as big as this, it would be, someone's life's work. But he was doing it while also working for. Sorry, Lucas, if there's some cross like over here, like I'm assuming we like you've revealed a bit.
Yeah,
of this.
no, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I just is he a liar? Is he just somebody who covets arcane power? Or is he just really dedicated to keeping the world safe? So dedicated that you'd be underground for the best part of a decade.
Well, didn't Tilly say that he was estranged from you and he was doing it for you, for your future? Does that ring true to you now?
I wouldn't have understood at the time, and I still don't understand now, but whatever's down here, or whatever the plan was for this place, or the elves, whatever they were doing, clearly would have had a big objective. It's power to change the future. I don't know. I think I'll only know how I feel about it once I understand everything. And he kind of looks towards Red, who's going through like reams of complex plans for like really advanced machinery.
Tisha's going to go, then she's going to give him a hug and say, look, it's okay. And you're just about to learn more about him now, and this is a good thing. So don't overthink it.
While you hug him, he looks over your shoulder to the barrel that or crate, was it? A crate,
crate,
that has a dagger like stuck most of the way in. And you hear him cast an arcane incantation, a very gentle version of Shatter, which he then casts on the crate as it collapses. And he just goes, "Oh, hey, you did it."
She knows. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she does. Oh, great. Excellent.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff in here. So we're going to need to roll, because there's only like, it took you long enough to get one kind of crate open. I'm going to need you to roll me a D4 and a D4 -1.
And so 4 total.
What are the two separate ones? The D4 score?
3 and a 1.
And so the D4 -1, did you roll a 1 on the dice?
I rolled a 2, but took 1 off.
So
Yeah.
a 3 and a 1.
Yeah.
So 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. You see a potion in a barrel. I'll hopefully be able to describe it for you. It's kind of wrapped up carefully in some like cloth. I just need to get the description. Here we are. No, it doesn't. Cool. It doesn't give me any description. Cool. Oh, the potion's syrupy liquid looks like liquefied iron.
Oh.
And sorry, the other score was 1.
Well, I think that was the one.
No, that was a 3.
Oh, well then yes, the other one was 1.
There is a telescopic cylinder that looks really well made.
Okay. She picks it up.
As she picks it up, it extends into a staff.
Oh,
The staff feels warm.
like somebody has just been touching it.
No, like it's generating a small amount of heat.
Ooh. Hey, Freddie.
He stood
is-
there, yeah.
Yeah, it's warm. Where's the heat coming from?
If you say it's warm on its own?
I think so. It could be dangerous. It just extended as I picked it up.
He puts his hand out. Give it here.
Be careful.
Yeah, it is warm. It must be magical. He's kind of got a load of papers around. I'll give it to Mia. She'll be able to figure out what it is.
Okay. Oh, Mia! And also, I'll take the iron liquid as well. And I'm going to dish out the staff to Mia and the liquid to Tilly, I think. See if they can figure out
Sure.
what these things are.
Okay, we'll go with Tilly first. Tilly, do you want to do like a alchemy tools check?
I'd love to. Because of the herbarium, I've got permanent advantage on those.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to potions, 29.
You dab a little bit of like in the alchemist tools kit. It's like almost like a toothpick sized piece of metal, and you stick it in this liquefied iron, and it kind of almost like oxygenates and turns into like a vial of like a toothpick of rust, like immediately. And you like blow it off and wave it, and then put the cap back on. You know exactly what this is. It's a potion of invulnerability.
Whoa.
I will. It's a potion of invulnerability. For 1 minute after you drink this potion, you have resistance to all damage.
That is sick as hell. I think, I mean, we can decide as a group. I personally think Mir will probably use this the most, because they tend to, they tend to go after you because the armor and everything, and we kind of always try to stay in the back.
I'm not good in a red blood moon. I'm going to put that out there.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not. I'm okay. I'm not. I don't want. I don't want to keep that one. I think any of you, maybe Mir, will use it. So feel free to decide.
Okay. Mia, any idea what this is? And also, do you want a potion?
Awesome. Do you want a potion?
What are you holding out to me?
A staff. No, I'm now holding out the version. Well, I don't know if it's still a staff.
Yeah, it's still a staff.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's
it's
hot.
warm.
Yeah. Warm.
Okay. Yeah, just let me have a look, and I'll use my feet to cast identify on it.
You don't use your
Cool.
hand? No, I'm joking.
This is a staff of fire. As you use identify, you like click one of the telescopic segments into place, and a I mean, can I do this? Yeah, I think I will. It ends up looking like this anyway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Staff of Fire requires attunement by a druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. You have resistance to fire damage while you hold the staff. It's got 10 charges, and you can cast Burning Hands, Fireball, or Wall of Fire. It regains 1d6 plus 4 charges expended daily at dawn. So yeah, it's fully charged at the moment.
Whoa, massive deja vu. Did we not have this item before?
I don't know, maybe. I rolled it.
Guys, do you remember when we were in the we went to the fire plane, or just before the Prince of Najarim gave you something, Mir. It was something to do with, it was like a scepter of something of fire.
The Wand of Fireballs.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, different item.
So it's different item. It's just I remember that it was cool. Have you used it once, or
Think.
have you cast any fireballs?
It requires attunement,
Yeah.
so it's got.
That's become a problem for all of us these days, eh?
Yeah.
If only there were more party members.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. So it's definitely not Mir, but
For me.
anybody else doesn't seem like will be something for Tilly. But the two of you could go for it.
I mean,
I've
I'm
got
already resistant
fireball.
to fire, and I have like Wall of Light and stuff, so it wouldn't be.
I've got fireball and firebolt. I've got the 2 out of 3 of what it can do, but I don't have. Do you know what? I'll take it.
It has charges,
good.
and if you have a slot, you should definitely.
I don't
take
have a
it.
slot, but I'll take it to decide if I want to one time.
Go for it.
You'd have
Got
to
a
attune
funny
now.
Ethan's mind ring to figure out.
Yeah, you do have to attune to it. And the thing is, like, I really, it's really cool. But I can only use those spells when I'm in my form, and when I'm in my form, I don't have the staff, so it's kind of a redundant thing for me. But yeah. It's cool, though. Really cool.
And then Tisha hands over the potion to Mia and says what it is. It might be useful to you.
You don't want it?
I mean, it could be good
I
for
think I'm
anyone,
okay
but
unless I'm in a moon environment.
in this very last fight, you got really beat up very quickly. I'm just thinking maybe it could be useful because, yeah.
Well, doesn't Mir have the ability to become temporarily immune to certain types of damage and stuff? I don't know exactly how that ability works, but you have that.
Just necrotic damage, I think it is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or is it radiant as well? You can just choose which one. Or is it just necrotic?
Yeah, that. You can switch between.
Codex
Mhm.
Eternus. Is it?
Depending on what happens to you.
Yeah.
But
I think you should keep it, and then maybe
Sure.
if there's anything, I'm just wondering whether the ability that comes from the herbarium that kind of specifically says it's that I can the wielder of the book, I assume that's what it means, may choose to gain immunity, resistance, and vulnerability to the effects of any potion. But I'm just wondering whether the way you described it with accelerants, if I could do something to a potion that I give to someone else, maybe I'd have to do it right there before they drink it, so like waste an action or something like that.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
You may be able to extend the duration. You'd use your action to make a check.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I might be helping you out with some potions. That could be a fun interaction during a fight, I think. But we'll see when we get there.
Okay. So after delving into Spellix's past and finding out a bit more, at least who was in charge of this operation over the course of a number of decades, Nain cracks open a barrel. John, roll me a d4.
Kisha shouts, "Show off!"
3.
And it's like, hey, I found these, and they're 3. Let me see. 3. Yeah, 3 superior healing potions.
Nice. I've got one currently. So if you guys want to get one, then I'm fine with that.
Maybe Freddy could have one.
Yeah, he gratefully receives one.
Mind him having mine.
I actually still have one. Well, they were supreme, yeah.
Superior.
Oh, superior.
Supreme is the one that's
Supreme
like
still.
5,000 gold pieces.
Yeah.
You got Supreme one, Jesus.
Yeah, it's been there for ages.
It's like
What?
16d4 plus 20 or something, is it?
10d4 plus 20. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh crap! You if you ever use this, you need to tell me for sure, so I can accelerate it for you.
Oh yeah.
The invulnerability
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Or the potion of healing.
Yep.
Well, both. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, anything like that we can use. Then yeah, if you're
Or
using
the potion of
potions,
healing during a beacon of hope.
yeah. Well, that would technically be.
Be the same effect, I think. But
Or is it just the same?
Well, it doubles. I would double
double
the
and max.
result,
Yeah. Okay.
and
So
then
yeah,
max.
you're right. So
Double
yeah, it
and
would
max.
be major.
So it would be insane. It would be sort of heal level. But yeah, if you use any potions that is outside of combat, please speak to me before you do, so I can make them better, tastier. They might taste a bit more of mushrooms, but
Hexen Herbarium was a good find, right?
that was great.
Yeah.
Maybe it was worth going into the Infinite Library for a year.
Oh, it's a great find for sure. Let's
Cling
just
to
leave it
anything
there.
to soften that blow. It was worth it.
Red, I don't want to tell you what to do, so tell me to get lost if you want. But have you thought about using the mirror?
That's
in
exactly
here?
what I was about to say next.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Well,
Go.
my idea specifically was to try and find out who this other mage was. Is that what you were thinking, or something different?
Potentially, I just was gonna see if we could get another insight into Spellix. It feels harder to get an insight into the other mage, but if you've got a way to do that, then definitely.
Well, we could maybe use it twice. If we use it before the long rest, tomorrow it'll refresh. So yeah, we could do this twice.
How does it work again? You have to pick a person.
Description.
More lore,
So,
Dan. We want even
It
more.
can be the history
lore.
of an object or creature. You think of the target. So yeah, it doesn't say that you have to necessarily be familiar with the target, but you do have to think of them. So you do need some level of. What I was going to suggest was I offer it to Tilly and say that you from what you've read through, or maybe Freddie, just whoever can kind of feels like they can get the best idea from everything that we've read about this accounting of this third mage. Like just an outside chance we'd get potentially some information. But we could use it for a couple of things.
Creature. I was thinking we didn't know Spellix. None of us did. You mentioned me, or you briefly saw him in like a vision, so maybe you're the closest. But also there's this item here, and I'm going to pass you the amulet. I found it under his pillow, and it could be a good conduit to, with the mirror.
Yeah, that could be huge. Mir, I mean, you met Galen. You knew Galen. I mean, that's presumably looked at least half like his father. Plus this amulet, yeah, maybe that would be. And I'll hand it over to you.
Well, Mir actually saw Spellix in the vision. Remember, she actually saw them. Unless it was more like a blobby soul situation than their actual faces, I can't really recall how detailed.
I actually, I think.
It was only like 3 years ago. You should remember.
No, I remember the scene vividly, but I'm just the charisma saving throw was failed, and Kellenvor summoned a vision or an appropriation of Spellix and Nibnal. I think really Galen is the one who saw them. I'm not sure. It was like a personal thing. I mean, I'm not saying that Mir definitely wouldn't have seen. I mean, if I'm not going to take that away from you, but when it says focusing on a specific person, you can focus on Spellix because you know there is a person that exists, and you've got his diaries, and you've got his amulet. You could focus on the amulet, given that you know that it belonged to Spellix. So I'm not trying to like jump over any rules, but there's lots of different options. You just have to tell me which one you want to do.
Well, I wanted to add here before we get moved on to this next thing is when freaking Kellenvor called the spirits of his parents from effectively 20 years into the past of Galen. What the fuck was he thinking? Did he know what he's putting in place for the Vashan and everything else? This divine stuff is messed up, dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all messed up.
Well, I mean, in any case, I think like I hand the mirror over to Mir because, like I say, like, you knew Galen. If out of anyone, you have the best idea of Spellix, and maybe even a little bit more experience with kind of Ogma and stuff. I guess I would know maybe a little bit in general about, gods and stuff, but so would Mir just as much. So
I think it makes perfect sense for me to try. And then
you
we
had
have
an idea to
try.
use it, so you should use it how you think.
Yeah, and we have another try in the morning, maybe, to clarify some stuff or whatever. I'm also thinking, do you have any way of contacting Reginald? Red?
Don't. I mean, DM, nothing jumps to mind, does it?
You don't have like a sending stone.
I never got any dealings with the CCC. I don't know if I even. I think I did interact at some point with Reginald. He was in the room.
You met him in the bowels
him.
of Eastcliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, during that.
But the person I met with most regularly was Manshoon, and even that was extraordinarily clandestine, to put it at least. So, and they've since.
I'm just saying he must have even if you could contact Manchun through him, I don't know, but like
Yeah,
it
the
must,
deal wasn't
he
really
must
for
have
me to have open
information.
communication. I'd have to go to East Cliff
Got-
and
Gotcha.
request to see Manchun, and I haven't been able to do that for a while now
Yeah.
because of
I mean,
they've
we could make
disbanded.
that happen, obviously, after we get out of this place.
Oh yeah, but even if I go to East Cliff right now, they've
Yeah.
all gone to the
Yeah.
wind.
I'm just saying, Reginald must have more information about what this project was. Clearly, he does, and he has decided not to, I guess, pass it
Well,
on to anyone.
the thing we haven't done is come back to Red after Red has been going through all this stuff. And sometimes when you roll, it's not success or failure. Sometimes a low roll means success at a cost, which is, in this case, time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give you everything, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to roll a bit more to find out a little bit more about these diagrams if you want.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the diagrams of what they were actually building and experimenting with, and
Okay.
Okay.
I just have. Oh, here we go. You can roll me 3. Oh no. Okay. With that in check, I'll give you another investigation check. Given that you've spent more time, I'll give you another investigation check.
Oof. I think that was about the
low
same as
again.
last time, yeah.
So that will get you a D6 roll.
D6?
Yeah.
5.
5. Okay. One of the projects that you see being overseen in this time is something called the Emerald Drycenum, which I'll put in the chat. Emerald Drycenum. This is one of many projects. However, the Emerald Drycenum relied on the excavation of emeralds, which it seems from the plans and requisition orders that you were looking at were bountiful on the Green Peninsula. And beneath the Jade Basin in particular, it seems as though parts of this mine were hotbed for emeralds. Now, the Emerald Drycenum is a contraption whereby the emeralds are fused and charged with magical power. And they seem to hold arcane potential after this gnomish manipulation to a much greater degree than Mirrorlight, with none of the harmful side effects. So it's like clean energy through emeralds. Now, the Emerald Drycenum seems to be a power station of some sort. A huge transistor holding an arcane charge that, looking at the maths, could last 1,000 years.
Or just 5 seconds to bring a giant snake into this world. Fuck.
And do I get the impression that's kind of like a one of several perhaps similar projects? Or is this...
Oh, yeah,
does this
loads of
stand
different
up-
types
loads
of
different
projects
stuff?
going on.
Yeah.
I will also give you that the Emerald Drycenum was going to be installed, it seems, in the Vade Mecum.
Mm.
Mm. That's the battery they're using. Bring him back.
For what? Yeah.
Yeah. One thing is obviously that sort of thing will require immense power, right? It's been sealed away like millennia ago. And we're talking about I don't think Spellix knew this at the start. I don't think any of them did.
Do the notes about the Emerald Drycenum signify any dates, like as if it was completed earlier in Spellix's notes, or anything like that, or even if it was completed?
It was completed, and yes, it was completed about 10 years ago.
Right. So we can at least draw from that wasn't the thing where Spellix went, "What have we done?" You know, that was already part of the project for a decade before he got to that point.
Yeah, that's...
So it's still part of some horrible thing, maybe, but that wasn't like the thing. We know that.
Yeah.
That would be really good if we could find out from the mirror that, you know, about this very specific moment where he said, "What the fuck did we do?" That would be so good. But,
well, that's interesting because then that means that the Vade Mecum presumably has been in possession of this power source for like the last decade. So
remember
one wonder what if they've done anything with it yet, or it's just been an ingredient they've been hanging on to.
So in the notes and what we've known previously, Hysis was not like aligned with the powers that want to bring Dendar back, right? She was either not on it or didn't know about it or whatever. But she was clearly in some sort of opposition to the powers that did this excavation, right? That was clear in the notes.
Right.
And when she was finally replaced, from that moment on, and this is recent, the Vademecum is fully under the control of the people that we're fighting against.
We think.
Yeah, speculation, of course, but
after the chat about the Emerald Drycenium, there was a gadget mentioned in one of the notes, an Esculapiator.
Yes.
Is that familiar to any of us?
that was a cool name. I laughed when Dan read it. I was like,
Shield Tech.
Shield Tech.
Do we know any more than that?
What the hell?
I think I've given John 2 investigation checks, so Red is probably at the very limits of her understanding. But if you want to stay up in your long rest and spend a bit more than the time, then I will allow it, but there'll be a potential cost.
Oh, not me anyway. I need to long rest.
Oh, you'll still long rest. But
Okay.
there'll still be there might be some kind of cost. Might come down to a roll.
I still think I'm fine for now.
I mean, we can take these notes with us, I guess, for the most part.
Yeah. We can.
Gonna grab a handful and
we can pack.
I believe I'm asking this at level 20, but does anyone actually have a bag of holding in there? Because I don't.
Yeah, I do, but
okay.
But the thing is, it keeps everything very cold, very cold in there. It's a bag of colding actually. So, I don't know. Maybe Mir has one that's regular.
No, I've got a bag of devouring. Thanks.
Oh,
Oh yeah, don't
that'll
mix
work.
those up.
So you can put the scrolls in there, but I don't know how cold's gonna affect them. So it's like a fridge.
I mean, if it's just like a fridge, I don't think it doesn't like freeze to sub-zero temperatures.
Look at that!
Like
Look at that! Look at Dan's face.
I don't know.
You can put them in the fridge if you want. I'm not stopping you.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Or we can just put them. They're just papers. We can just put them in normal bag, right? Is it?
Yeah, they won't really add to your.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, they're not books.
There's like
they're
a lot,
mostly
but it's not
scrolls.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freddy's got to have a big bag for scrolls, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Freddy should probably be poring over them at every spare moment he gets anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you think about using the mirror, Mia?
Yeah. Seems just information is key at the minute, right?
It's all yours for tonight. I'll pass it over to you.
I mean, it's only a minute. It's not going to take a whole night.
No, I just mean as in today's charge.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Yeah. I will use the mirror at some point when I get a quiet moment.
You can do it in the mansion if you want.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing left to do is long rest. So if you're going to do it before that, you need to do it.
Yeah, I do it. For Spellix.
For Spellix. Okay. Let me. You look into the mirror. And you concentrate and focus on this idea of this person, Spellix Romeweaver, whose history you've been given a truncated account of by Tilly, and you maybe even saw in a vision once. You start to wonder what his life would have been like as you pierce the sorry, I've got a cat. As you stare intently into the mirror of the past, as the reflection begins to defog, you see Spellix holding a shovel. And he seems to be filling in a hole that he dug. The scene pans back, if you like, and you see that Spellix has filled in many holes. He looks old. He looks tired, and he has a regretful look on his face as he taps down the last bit of dirt. He stands alone there, contemplative, as he looks back towards a cavern. You think this vision might have taken place nearby. The cavern that he regards somewhat dutifully pulses with an ominous green glow. So you get. It is random.
Sure. We don't know if he's alive, do we?
He was quoted in the paper recently.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So before we go to bed, now that I've seen him clearly, we could do a little scry on him.
Little scry.
Yeah.
Oh, a cat. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow. He's eating your microphone.
What are you doing? I'm playing D&D, dude. He just came in like wailing,
Oh, okay.
I think. Come on.
Oh.
Go on, off you go. Right. What, you want to attempt to scry on all Bellix?
Yeah? I feel like seeing that vision of him has helped me remember what he looks like, which will help.
Oh, I just said he looked old, but I'll give you a proper description if you want.
Yeah.
Well, are you going to scry on him? Because that'll be an even better time to give you a description.
Yeah, I'll scry on him using my thingamabob. My crystal ball thing.
Cool.
My lantern, that's it. It's a lantern. Which also allows me true sight on the surroundings of whoever I'm scrying on. Just in case there's any beasties hanging out with him.
Sorry. Okay. As you look into the lantern, you see like the flames cast an image into the glass exterior, and this is how you scry using this lantern. The image focuses in on an elderly gnome with a wiry frame standing about 3 feet tall. His skin is fairly pale and has kind of liver spots. Deep lines are etched on his face. Some like mild kind of burns and discoloration around the skin that you can see. His hair is a wild shock of white sticking out in all directions, as if perpetually charged with static electricity. And a pair of round, thick lens spectacles rests on the bridge of his slightly crooked nose, magnifying his bright, inquisitive blue eyes that still gleam with an element of youthful curiosity. As you zoom in, you see that he is stood in almost a palatial circumstance next to a contraption. A huge golden lever that he wraps his thin and nimble fingers around. Though his fingers are slightly crooked and stained with oil and soot, the machine that he lays his paws on is intricate, a technological marvel. Do you get to hear through this or just see?
I'm sorry, just give me 1 second to double check. Yes, hear them.
And you hear a kind of haughty, condescending female voice coming from above him. It looks as though the test run was a success. We move on to activation. In 24 hours, our plan will be complete.
Oh.
He looks over his shoulder to the voice, the origin of which you can't see through the scry spell.
Even though. Oh, okay.
It's only 5 feet away, right?
Oh. Uh, uh, uh. 10 feet.
Yeah, it's more than 10 feet away.
Sensor moves with the target, remaining within 10 feet of it.
Mm-hmm. So it's further away than that, the voice. He turns around and says to the voice, "Of course, Madam Onassis, your wish is my command." And with a... Well, I'm going to get you to make an insight check now.
Okay, I'm going to use my last portent of the day. Roll a 15 and get a 27 altogether, please.
Cool. With a 27, there is a deeply held guilt present in Spellix's demeanor. And as he pulls down the lever, a little tear runs down his cheek. It's though he has no choice. Maybe he did once, but no longer.
Mm. Is that the end?
Yeah.
My true sight.
Movie over.
See anything?
Pardon?
That was my true sight. See anything?
True sight just allows you to see through illusions. She's the true form of any shapeshifters, I think. So, no.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. 24 hours then. It's all right.
Within 24
Yeah.
hours.
Onassis. Why do we know that name?
Well, it's the highborn elf family that's been mentioned all over the place since we first heard it in Last Hollow from Jadena. There most likely be, the people behind the whole thing, which this just confirms. Onassis' name was also in that article, right? Maybe.
Did I give you the article, or did I just read you the article?
I think it was it. Was it not? I was trying to find it before.
I think you maybe showed it to us on
The
in one of those
Menelambir
inventory things.
messenger.
Correct.
What's correct?
Messenger.
That is the Menelambir messenger. Where have you found it?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Was it a handout or was it in?
Ilhan Montenay, recently appointed advisor to Her Ladyship Inania Onassis, had this to say. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah 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 blah. Tendar blah blah blah.
Oh, I can read it all out. I just assume you don't want me to read it. It's in our folder.
Oh yeah, Lucy
Oh.
pasted some huge family tree where she's like on the very top.
Oh, yeah.
And then
It's Jacob's
Jacob's right there.
grandmother.
Looks
True?
like it.
Great grandmother, right?
No. Yes.
Great grandmother here.
You scared me.
There's another interesting name. Just someone else you've encountered recently on that family tree.
Anazi.
Yeah.
But you mean someone else?
No, Anazi's mother.
Yeah.
And oh shit. Oh shit. And Nazi's dead now, right?
Uh huh.
She's so dead.
She's so dead.
Yeah.
So she's like
But surely that kind of hit came from people that know Inania Onassis, right?
What do you mean,
Like-
the hit? What?
The people that came to attack us.
Oh, yeah.
Were they
Zetsu
not-
and
Yeah.
Jacob.
And Gilchrist.
They clearly. So Anarzi was there. So Anarzi was like a great aunt to Jacob. He didn't say anything, but obviously he was under some sort of freaking spell with the. Or maybe he didn't have a reason to say anything, and. But Zetsu must have known. And he clearly ordered her death.
Well, you know that Anazi didn't seem particularly allied to.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, of course not.
No, but that still is her
It's
daughter.
like family drama there, for sure.
Hmm.
My God. Your cat.
It's just wailing at me. What are you doing?
Singing the song of his people.
This is some crazy shit, is all I'm gonna say.
Mm. Yeah, I obviously report everything back
Mm-hmm.
and then never sleep again.
As we sit in the common room, eating supper before going to bed, the fire in the fireplace is nice and cozy. And
Are you going to take a long rest?
hot chocolate for everybody.
There is one thing I would like to do before taking a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Which requires double RP from the DM, potentially.
Oh, double RP? Do you want
Just
to
pour
get
it on you, but-
Naeem and Freddie to play a game of poker with each other and
Not
have me
quite.
roleplay it?
So, well, I'll talk to Freddie. And obviously he's kind of, thinking over, or if he did, I know he talked to Tisha, but if he did say anything, in passing about like his father, and he's kind of figured out from these notes, why he was absent and stuff like that. And I'll say, Freddie, I wish I'd known sooner or done something sooner to, I had my head barely above the water when I agreed to work with the CCC, and I didn't realize the ramifications of who Reginald was and what he meant to you. Maybe this is something I could have done sooner, or maybe it's too soon. You'll have to tell me. But I'll take his hands and I'll start to cast the incantations for the dream spell. If you can bear it, I think it should be you. Be selfish if I tried to take it on myself. I only wonder if he even sleeps these days. And I'll just begin the casting of the dream spell on Reginald with Freddy as the target for the messenger. and if he wants to submit to it, then I can try to put him into the dream of his father.
Damn.
Okay, I'm going to give you advantage on a persuasion check.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, you can't go with him, can you?
No, I can't, which is so this requires like some very meta kind of perception on if it works, but
No, I'll just say, yeah, Freddy wakes up and says,
Yeah.
he just wakes up, starts crying and runs away. 29.
No. Nice.
With a 29, he grasps Red's hands back firmly. As well, there sure aren't any carriages going back to Eastcliff from here. And I think it's high time that we're owed some answers.
Oh, shit. Red, you would have known this because you're a magic user, but you obviously stepped outside of the mansion before you cast the spell, didn't you?
Oh, would you have explained I need to do that in order to, because it's like another dimension, right?
It's a different, yeah. It's a different.
I mean, this is before we rest anyway, so I'm not even assuming we went inside. So
fair enough.
Yeah,
I'll just put the description of the dream spell just in case you need anything.
So when he goes to sleep in a different dimension, does it still work?
They must be on the same plane of existence.
The target must be on the same plane of existence, yeah.
So Freddy can't go in the mansion to sleep.
I suppose not if it, I mean, depending on how quickly he could be waiting for, yeah.
Well, but would you know? Because you have to end the spell early, right? So, and it's duration of 8 hours. So, what if you cast it on him? He's out for 8, unless you end the spell. Yes? No?
He'll be in a trance state, but he'll be aware of his surroundings, so he doesn't have to fall asleep. But I would sit with him. I'd be like in front of him casting this spell, you know, legs crossed and cupping his hands.
Oh, yeah, no. The messenger can emerge from the trance at any time, ending the effect of the spell early. It says it right.
Oh, so sorry. Freddy would be in a trance and Reginald would be asleep?
So, yeah, the target of the... there's kind of like two targets in the spell, basically. Like, there's the messenger and the dreamer. So,
yeah,
the dreamer being Reginald and
yeah,
Freddy
he needs to be asleep.
So
or
he doesn't need to be... He'll be in a trance, but he'll be aware of his surroundings.
Okay, so you guys are going to sit while Tilly's preparing the mansion. Going to sit. I mean, it is very late. You assume that most people on Cerulea are asleep at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I need Reginald to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, which will be DC 22.
Okay.
I think that isn't the save only if you want to hurt him.
Oh, actually, it is. Yeah, sorry, it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If it's just for message, then you can actually talk to him like
it just
as he
works
wants if he reaches.
Yeah.
And in the conversation, what I said it's high time that Reginald owed some answers. Just because it's your spell, is there what information are you looking for Freddy to glean, or are you just giving him this spell as a way to have him gain some closure? Or
yeah, I think when I thought of casting it, it's like, you know, there are fleeting questions to ask, but what jumps out more than anything is like the reconciliation between Freddy and Reginald. There's no specifics that I'm that interested in. There's plenty that he could give us, you know, but there's like a million things like that he could say, you know, like it's
just one.
It's for Freddy to talk
what is
to
the
him
project
and find
about?
out, you know.
do you want him to ask about the project? You got the persuasion check, Red, of 29.
I think that I want him to explain to Freddy what he's been doing. So by that nature, if that's relevant, then yeah, I get it.
But
it's what he's been, where he's been, why has he been away from him? Now we know that it's to do with all of this stuff. Who knows what he might say?
Okay. So we're going to have an hour above the table dream episode, right?
Yeah.
Where none of you would see this, but it's Freddy's dream about his father. Freddy falls into a trance, his hands still kind of cupped in Red's open palms. And you see him descend into like a state of rapid eye movement, where his eyes begin to like twitch. Tishy, you've seen Freddy's expression like this in the night before, if he was having like a nightmare or kind of going through some stuff. You are returned, or Freddy is returned to Sam's workshop. The part of Reginald's kind of base in the north of the cliffs, in the cliffs north of Cerulea, north of Silvercrest. It is very much kind of where Reginald like left his life behind. And Freddy is walking around in this place that clearly Reginald dreams of and goes back to often, this place of sanctuary. But it seems as though Freddy's influence is colouring it in a different perspective. It's the state that it was in when you guys were last there, partially collapsed. And you see this robot, this mech type construct that was inhabited by the personality of Freddy's childhood friend, Sam. And amidst the rubble and the destruction, a blinking light starts on Sam's kind of robotic, like oracular visor. Freddy steps forward out of the light, out of the shadows and into the light. And at the same time, a phantasmal vision of Reginald is cast out from Sam, like R2-D2 casting out Princess Leia. And finally, Freddy and an apparition of Reginald are stood face to face amidst the ruins of this once secretive laboratory. In a modulated, partially electronic voice, you hear Reginald say, "Well, well, you're all grown up." The voice crackles and whirs as the image kind of phases in and out of clarity. No thanks to you. There's so many things you never told me. And in a similar tone, so many things I couldn't tell you. So you leave me with questions. You leave me to run a spire of wizards, to fill your shoes, to teach myself everything that you could have taught me. Looking at you, Frederick, it seems like you did a better job than I ever could. I know that the people of Silvercrest regarded you as a hero. You were Lucian Broadgrove's master mage. You built the Spire of Silver Candles from nothing. You're a legend. But I didn't need a legend. I don't care about Lucian Broadgrove. I never even really cared about the Spire. I was just trying to find you. The image of Reginald kind of waves in and out, and it between a crackle and a flash. I could spend a lifetime trying to make you understand, trying to apologize. But the closer I came to you, the more danger there was. I needed you to be safe, and I needed not to dump all of my baggage onto you. The baggage that you were born with. Your mother. Yes, I know. They look at each other and regard each other in silence. Reginald's regret of getting involved with Adorn Clorox Trivium, or by the name you know her, von Moxador. It's gone. Von Moxador.
No, Lucretia.
Lucretia von Moxador. Exactly. Sorry. They kind of just stay silent in this mutual acceptance that, no matter how bad of a father Reginald has been by being absent, at least he wasn't a soul-eating vampire. She wasn't always that way, you know. Seems as though relationships with people that you love have never really gone right. Reginald nods in continual agreement. I hoped you'd find me one day. And I know you're not here for excuses. And Freddie cuts him off. No, I'm not here for excuses and stories, and we can do this another time. But I'm here for information. Just what the hell is going on in the Jade Basin? Well, I was employed via the contacts I made through my old apprentice by Hysis Hololana. At this point, John, I would like you to roll me 2d6.
Yep. Got a 3 and a 2.
Okay, bear with me. Okay. The 3 is a non-starter, but a 2 works. The main project I was involved in was a heliomotivator. And it took years to build. And we built it directly under the Vade Mecum. When I joined the project, they'd already been digging and excavating for years. But Ms. Hololana was very specific. She needed a propulsion device placed underneath the Grand Library of the Elves. Now, given my expertise, it was a project I could have completed in 3 or 4 years. But Ms. Hololana didn't know my ulterior motive. I had been recruited since the close of the settlement wars to the CCC. Given my survival, my predecessor was using a type of magic that I'd never been exposed to before. And they both say at the same time, nethermancy. I was tasked with continuing his work, but it seemed as though Mr. Zaldeskar had been aiming to try and bring something through from another plane, another reality. And I did my best to sabotage his work. Whatever was going to come through was ancient. And the elves are investing money hand over fist in his operation until he scarpered. Whatever he saw on the other side must have scared him. Unfortunately, my antics did not go unnoticed by Ms. Hololana, and I was exposed as a traitor. I'm just very grateful that Alasra Silverhand was able to leverage her considerable political influence with the elves to allow me to be extradited rather than executed. However, I was to remain under house arrest in East Cliff for the rest of my days. I figured that any contact that I would try to make to you, Freddie, would only implicate you further in my subterfuge and would make you the target of some of the most powerful and terrible mages I've ever come across. I couldn't do that. Hopefully you'll never see something so terrible that you'll come to understand. Why do you want to know? Freddie says. We're in the Jade Basin right now. Work continued for years after you left. And we think that another mage may have influenced the project. We intend to find out just how far it went after you left and bring these mages and elves to justice. Reginald says, I don't presume to tell you what to do with your life, but I can only ask that you don't throw it away. My colleagues at the CCC and I will back you however we can. But this fight started when you were just a child. And the elves, they've been at this for generations. Please tread lightly, and if you find yourself in danger, you have only but to return. Come to Eastcliff. We can find somewhere to go, a way out of here. And then Freddie looks at the apparition of his father dead in the eye and says, I think that's the difference between you and I, Dad. I absolutely will not run away from the people I love. And at that point, with a hypnic jerk, Freddie awakes, holding Red's hands. And see. Thanks, John.
Ooh. Yeah, I guess I just have this like expectant look, almost just, you know, like a look of like, are you okay?
His jaw drops for a second as he just takes in the emotional weight of that meeting until he clenches his jaw again and steels himself and says, heliomotivator.
What is that?
A propulsion device of some kind. My father helped install it underneath the Vade Mecum. Could that be what the Emerald Drycenium was powering?
What do you mean propulsion?
Well, I don't know. A propulsion device. It
As in flight?
I guess so. And like Freddie scratches his head.
Gonna fly the library? It's gonna be a flying library of Vademecum. Why?
Do you remember what we learned? The tales, the myths of eons past, the Saruk, that those in the upper caste that would enslave those below them would rule from above. This is...
I remember it telling you that, I think, John, when you were creating Zetsu, I think.
Okay, yeah, this could be meta. I'm thinking of like...
It's fine, though. It would, given all of the immersion you've had in the Saruki legends and lore, then yeah, you would know that at the height of the Saruki Empire, there were floating cities.
You want to do it, so they just... Okay. So like a symbol then. So what does that... So does it mean that I was wrong? Hysis is a part of it. Right? She was the one that specifically commissioned the device from Freddy. From Reginald. Sorry, Freddy.
Well, there's a difference between making your arcane library float and bringing about Dendar.
No, yeah, I guess there's, yeah. There's many different Many different things.
Seems like
Yeah.
there's been a lot of compartmentalization.
Hmm. Yeah, this was just given to her as a like. Wouldn't it be cool if Father Malcolm could, float? That would be great. And
It's,
she was like, "Yeah, okay, cool."
it's like the pinnacle dream of arcane mages, right?
Yeah, she could float everywhere and get all the books she wants.
What could be more of a status symbol, an achievement?
So the other meaning that you mentioned are, yeah, I don't know. No, it's crazy.
And in less than 24 hours, Spellix will potentially activate, following the test run, some sort of intricate contraption.
Are we assuming the test run was the giant coming through?
The propulsion system, the Dracenium. I mean, we don't know what these things look like.
Also,
Some
I think
part of
from
it.
this information, it seems like the excavation or the tunnels, we're thinking this is the Jade Basin here, and Father Malcolm's just a bit to the north from here. I think it's kind of clear that they connect, right? This is probably an underground tunnel system that might go under the library as well.
Possibly.
Given the maps that you can see on the side, that's a logical conclusion.
Yeah. So and the scry vision that you had, Mir, you couldn't tell where Spellix was, right? Or could you?
Not specifically. Somewhere grand.
Could have been the library. Okay. Well, we're here. We need to rest.
Mm.
We need to rest, but it seems like it's very likely going to be the last rest before this thing is resolved one way or the other, maybe. So we get up early and keep going. We need to find these places. We need to find this. If we find this battery or whatever you called it, the emerald thingy, see maybe if we can switch it off or, something to disrupt it. We need to be doing some disruption, but we need to be moving forward and find the place where he is. You said there was green glow, right? So he might likely be where that battery is, right? Yeah. Maybe.
Seems likely. Could
Wonder.
be
Okay.
really close to here.
Could be.
Could be in the mage's office down here. Which I roughly know where it is.
All right. Sleepy time.
Are we gonna keep watch?
If we're inside, the door isn't accessible to anyone or even visible, unless maybe with some powerful magic to, of true sight or something. But if we're inside, we should be fine. Plus, I'm casting it here, which is already a protected sort of room by the whole illusion and the door and everything. So it's like double security. Is there anything that you could do? You may just maybe, I don't know, alarm the door or something that you would know?
Freddy says, I can cast the alarm spell.
Does it work if you're in Would it alarm you if you're sleeping in the mansion?
I don't know. Never tried it before.
Hey, there's that's like a easy spell to do, right?
Sure.
All right, so why don't you just cast it, go inside, and then I'll trip it, and then you tell me if you heard it.
Sure.
These experimentations are very much in the spirit of this place. Where in the nine hells does this fucking giant come into all of this?
It's a really good fucking question. I think it's here to try and stop it. I think so.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Because
But I mean, it also
Corellon sent it, or maybe not, or something. I don't know. It's weird.
From everything we saw,
okay.
The Grove and Felidrandor, like Corellon.
Freddy casts a spell on the door and then goes in your magnificent mansion. And what do you do now, Tilly?
Well, I opened the door. I guess that will trip the silver wire or something.
Mm-hmm. Freddy doesn't immediately come out.
I put my head in. Did you hear it?
No.
Oh fuck. Okay. That's not useful. I don't know what else to do. Do we want to know? We could just have somebody sat right in front of the door to the mansion on a rotation, you know, and then if something happens, they could just jump in. That would at least tell us that somebody is coming in here or not. Or we could just completely ignore it and just go to sleep.
We can switch in and out. I don't think I'm going to sleep very well tonight anyway.
Do we want to keep somebody out here? One person? Just literally sitting right in front of the mansion door, so anything dangerous happens, they can just jump back in and tell the rest of us.
Any brave volunteers?
Well, I guess it would have to be a rotation because we all want to get full rest, so...
Oh, in fact, I think with the 2 hours that you've all spent research and reading, I think if you take a watch, that's it. You won't get the 6 that you need.
Yeah, unless we just spend 2 hours longer than the whole 8 hours.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you want to
hours.
sleep in an extra 2 hours, that's up to you as well.
Well, fuck it. Let's just risk it. If anything comes in here, they'll have answers we need.
Well, the absolute worst thing that could happen is we go inside, and then somebody would have to go through the illusion door, then through the normal door, then cast some sort of true seeing or see invisibility to see the door, and then cast the spell on it, and then we all tumble out. So if that happens, then
It seems unlikely, doesn't it?
We'll just deal with it. Okay, we're going to sleep.
Okay. The night will pass with nightmares for Mia, Tilly, and Red. Whereas last night your nightmares were all different and unique. This time there is a common theme, image. Each of your characters experiences an aching at the back of your throat, in your jaw, a tooth. And as you reach into your mouth, you try and dislodge a wound, something stuck. Hurts. Bleeding. Taste copper and iron at the back of your throat. You begin to gargle. You want to reach back further. You end up nearly fitting your whole hand in your mouth. And then you feel your fingers press against the back of your throat. And then your hand starts to go further down. And after struggling to breathe and choke and twist and tense, you realize that you've all nearly swallowed your own arms. And they just keep going and going, as if you're some kind of human Ouroboros. You're stifled, choking on your own flesh. You try to pull it out, and it's like your arm is just extending. Your arm is now a rope. Your rope is now a snake, and as you pull out, a huge, coiled, python-esque snake from out of your throat, blood trickling down your chin. It bites you in the face and you wake up. Lucy.
Yes.
Yes.
Tisha does not have such a terrible dream.
Good.
However,
Uh-oh.
when she falls asleep, it's like her consciousness is expanded. It's as if she is almost on a different plane. A plane that gives her more freedom to move, to be. Make a nature check for me, please. Tisha has no idea where she is.
Mm-hmm.
But she feels very similar to when that bard at the Starfall Tavern cast that spell on her. An almost out-of-body experience. And as you look around, you have a grand view of Cerulea. The entire planet, even. It's almost like you're viewing the planet at a different point in time. Instead of lush, green and vibrant, Cerulea seems like rocky, almost like Martian-esque. You see the stars so clearly amongst like a multicolored vista of stardust. You look down at the rocks of Cerulea and they look fresh, red, sandy. You see motes of lava and plumes of smoke. A young planet just beginning to cool. You're observing Cerulea from him without time and space. Is this how far back your bloodline goes? Were you here at the dawn of civilization? Make a perception check for me. With a 23, you realize you're not alone. You're not being watched, but it's though you feel another presence here. And you could You could bring it forth. You could summon it. You might even be able to control it.
Okay. He wants to try that.
Cast a hand out towards the stardust. And in this floating, malleable smoke of cosmic potential begins to take a shape before you. The shape condenses and cools and begins to drip with cold condensation as the flesh beneath the smoke begins to form. And like someone born out of space and time themselves, you summon a bewildered, naked, and vulnerable Zetsu
Shut
before
up.
you. What? What is this? How did you? You.
You? What can Tisha do something in this moment?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Kill? So like a spell attack, I guess?
Yeah, what kind of spell do you want to do?
I think if she saw Zetsu vulnerable, she'd want to end it. Let's just go a simple fireball.
Sure.
Yeah?
So they have to make a dex save for that?
Yep.
Okay. What's the DC?
19.
No word of a lie. Natural 20. You throw instinctively a fireball towards Zetsu, and he puts his hands up instinctively, and every action has an equal and opposite reaction. He absorbs the fire and throws it straight back at you. You take 34 points of damage. As your skin begins to burn, he wails out in pain. Ah! What sorcery is this?
We share pain. Oh.
Make an insight check. With a 20. You fought Zetsu and inflicted pain upon him that you didn't feel. Maybe in a dream, this is just symbolic of the connection you share. Inescapable. Neither of you can break it. Something that was done to you maybe was done to him. Why do you torture me? Haunting my dreams. It's pointless. Our time is over. You refused me.
Tisha will. She doesn't understand why he's so vulnerable. If it was a dream,
Just that he's naked.
yeah. Oh, it's just how he sleeps. Yeah,
Maybe.
Maybe. What do you mean? I what are you doing here? Like, I didn't ask you to be here.
You must have summoned me.
But you were here. Do you? Well, yes.
Why
Yes,
do
I
you
did.
torment me? Is it not
Because
enough that I slaughtered that treacherous bitch, Anazi Bremini? Is it not enough that I requisitioned your former allies and friends and used them against you? Do you not see how much there is to fear from coming to face me? I am Dendar's herald. And in our new future, I will rule and you will beg. Beg to die by my hand. But seeing as you refused me, I'll make sure that little red-haired boy of yours is made to suffer while you watch.
Well, you've got to do what you've got to do, Zetsu. But I will continue to torture you until my dying day.
I don't know what Shaktari ever saw in you. Ilhan and Denevere. Sycophants. They couldn't have conjured me an adequate partner from their pathetic bloodline. My bloodline was curated, selected carefully over many lifetimes. Many lifetimes that I have lived to watch you die.
Trisha laughs. She laughs at how dramatic and twisted he is, and feels sorry for him.
I sense the pity in your eyes. Pity me not, because I have a new bride. And when we are wedded, we shall rule. And you will regret the day you ever spurned me, princess.
And Tisha says, yep, good luck with that. Good at ruining weddings. Sweet dreams. And then whatever she can
No! He disappears and you wake up. I'm just going to take 2 minutes there, just before we end the game, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yep, sure.
you awake in Tilly's magnificent mansion. Three of you having the same nightmare. Tisha having a different experience.
If Tisha wakes up, she'll go and do what she did before and just check on everyone, see if they are.
Do we get full rest? Any
you can
issues
take
from that nightmare, or?
No, you can take a long rest.
So we can lose that one exhaustion we had before.
Does that?
Yes.
I was going to ask that. So exhaustion goes if
Exhaustion is gone.
Cool.
Phew.
Awesome.
Seems as though being out of the radius of the blood moon, maybe you're able to shield yourself from the effects of whatever enchantment has been cast upon you or upon Tisha.
Okay. So technically, we've got about 16 hours, more or less, or less, to
Stop.
stop this. So, yeah, very likely this was our last sleep before for the thing.
Do we need like one of those heroes feast things? Don't know if anyone
That
can
would
do
have been
That would
awesome,
be nice,
but
we don't
we don't have the jewel.
Yeah.
We don't have the jewel.
Tisha thinks back to all the encrusted goblets and bowls that are back in Inelian, like, oh, god damn it.
I know exactly where they are.
When was the last time we had an opportunity of like shopping now? Been a while, right?
Been a while.
We're not going shopping.
No, we are like
no.
Black
There's no
Hawk
time.
down behind enemy lines. Like this, the shopping episodes are well behind us at this point.
We could get out.
You've
of
had 4 years to
easy.
shop.
4 years to shop. No more shopping. We could.
We don't have it. We don't need it.
Yeah, no, we're fine. We're fine. I
We
mean,
need to kill Zetsu.
you could just use wish for that, but that would be a bit of an overkill. Anyway, should we keep going?
Yeah, Tisha explains a dream. So you were all sort of aware.
That's so
That's pretty
weird
good.
that it's like you're connected to him if you're not gonna marry him anymore. I guess it's just a dream.
Divorces take time to process.
Magically, it needs its time. You know what I mean?
But we're both connected, like Saruk wise.
Yeah. All right. I think we'll continue. I feel like we spent a long time in this room. feels
Yeah.
like
No
feels like
3
a
hours of time.
whole session.
As you come out of the magnificent mansion and attempt, and ready yourselves to continue, I want everybody to make a perception check.
John, do we get some temp hit points? FYI.
Yeah, it'll be 15. Good reminder.
Okay, 10, 23, 18, 23. The door, the wooden door, is rattling in its frame as you hear
Oh no.
Oh god.
From behind it?
scratching at the door.
It's a zombie.
Oh, shit.
Oh God.
Does it say brains? What's that?
No, can you see out of this mansion?
Oh no, I assumed you'd
we're-
come out of the mansion
yeah,
and
no.
you're in the
Oh.
room now.
Room.
We're out in the room, and so basically, and this is just this door right there in front of me here.
Oh.
That this thing, whatever it is behind. It's like, damn. That's the only way out, so we gotta go that way.
Anybody see through it?
Right. Who had like see through the? I can't see through walls.
I'll go up to it and I actually do
That's my
have a
best
feature.
Resident Evil 1 zombie impression. By the way.
It's really horrible. I really,
Goodness.
really don't like it this close to bedtime.
My ability, where is it? Ghostly Gaze. I will cast.
Ooh.
I can't get the individual description. Once per short rest, as an action, you gain the ability to see through solid objects with dark vision
Nice.
to a range of 30 feet for 1 minute.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
so cool.
Cool.
I recall
Do you,
the
do you wanna move your
penetrating sight of
token and-
Sabathiel and pray.
yeah. Do you want to swap your token with Mia just as you kind of go past? Hopefully, Mia can move. Goes to
I'm
move
trying.
Mia.
I can't grab it though.
It's alright, I'll do it. Okay. Red. I'm just going to do this on the map and I'll describe what you see in a minute, but you see 1, 2, 3,
Hmm.
4, and you can just about see a 5th one before the illusory wall that is still activated. They with that you can see these humanoids, but with dark vision. So I'll give you a perception check at advantage to see what they are.
Can I cast guidance?
Sure.
Perception. Advantage. Oh, God.
Oh,
See if I can pull it up to a 12. Like 10.
A 10. It's clear that these are zombies. They all seem to be infected with some kind of disease. You can't really tell what. And they're roughly all about gnome size.
Yeah.
Mm.
oh no.
Of paths that were buried.
Yeah.
No.
And rather than start a combat encounter, now we will do a hot start at the beginning of the next session.
Okay.
Okay.
Poor zombies.
Poor gnomes.
Wanna like? No, I won't say now.
You're going to turn undead right at the beginning of the fight?
Like door open. Ah!
Cleric business, yeah.
The power of Mystra compels you.
I don't think you even have to open the door, right? Because if they hear you, it works. I think.
Cooler if I see them though. Instead of like being like, please go away.
Power
Nobody's
of
here,
Mystra
go
compel
away.
you.
Okay, so we will end the session there, and I will say thank you very much for joining us. The Starseekers are really in the twilight of this campaign. Pieces, plots being filled in. I hope you enjoyed the lore dump as much as some of the players did. Thanks very much.
It was great.
Till next time.
Thanks.